Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Ali Benjamin here with Growing Edge Live, and we're broadcasting here at the Satya Center in Ogden, Utah. And if you are joining us for the first time, welcome. Welcome to this online virtual Facebook spiritual community. We are broadcasting every Sunday morning at 10:15 a.m. Mountain Time, and today we are broadcasting here in Ogden, Utah, live at the Satya Center. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here for the first time, so glad that you're here. Stick around. We start our broadcast officially with our weekly theme at 10:15, so we have a few more minutes, and we go for 15 minutes. So this is your time to check in, spiritually have a little bit of a tune-up, and we do this every Sunday. We also do it on Thursdays, Thursday night live. So Growing Edge, Thursday night live, and we do that on Facebook, and you can find us at the Satya Center page. We go from the Satya Center page, and so like the Satya Center or follow the Satya Center, and then you will be notified when we go live. So I jumped on a couple minutes early so I could welcome everyone and sort of give you an idea of what Growing Edge Live is. Growing Edge implies that we're at the very growing edge of our own evolution, that we are each responsible for the way we show up in the world and what we create in the world. And we teach here at Growing Edge Live and at the Satya Center spiritual principles and practices to help us stay masterfully connected to the ongoing flow of creativity that is constantly happening through us. When we're paying attention to it, we can consciously direct that energy to that which we want to experience. So here, we're very big on visioning, having a vision of who we want to be and how we want to be in the world, and how we want the world to be that more beautiful world that our hearts know is possible. So we're really big into creating a vision for our own lives, for the world in general, for our workplaces, and for our bigger communities that we live in. And the premise is that when we have a vision, when we cast a vision, that vision actually will propel us forward, that the intention of a vision has within it everything that's required for us to be drawn into that future experience. So intentions clearly stated are clearly met. And so today we're going to be continuing with spiritual practices and principles that keep us at the very growing edge of our own evolution, consciously engaged in the process of creation, consciously engaged in the process of creating the life that each of us was born to create. So welcome to the Growing Edge Live Sunday morning broadcast here at the Satya Center. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is a spiritual tune-in and a tune-up. So stick around with us for the next 15 minutes. And what we know, is that you will get a dose of spiritual nourishment that, if you apply it to your life, will absolutely enhance your experience. I know that for sure. So welcome. It is almost 10:15. And again, if you're just jumping on, hello, I'm Ali Benjamin, and we're broadcasting live here at the Satya Center in Ogden, Utah. We have an amazing community of people. They're downstairs at the moment in our gathering room, and they're watching this broadcast too. And then they go deeper after the broadcast. They go deeper into discussing questions and discussing things that we've talked about here so that they can get a real working understanding, a real activation of these principles. Why? So that we can take this out to the streets, so that we can actually be the change that we want to see in the world. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's February the 2nd, and the theme for this month is wholeheartedness. February is the love month for many, and so I thought wholeheartedness really captured what I want to share this month, what I think is relevant to humanity's conscious evolution. So wholeheartedness, the wholehearted living begins the moment you decide to be your own best friend. I'll say that again. Wholehearted living begins the moment you decide to be your own best friend. To be your own best friend, to value yourself, to honor yourself, to put yourself at the top of the list. Because we could kind of get into patterns and programs and ways of being that we're not. We're putting other people first. We're more interested in what other people and what other things in our life dictate for us to be or do. And so this month of wholeheartedness is about bringing the focus of attention back to the self so that we can cultivate a deeper sense of love, of loving awareness, so that we can then be that in the world. Because that's what the world needs now. A bunch of people like us that are awakened to the fact that we are the bringers of divine love into this world. The miracle of love, God's love, universal love. So I found this great quote from Marianne Williamson. It says, "The soul is the truth of who we are, the light, the love that is within us. It goes by different names. It's the truth of us." Michelangelo, the great artist, said that he didn't carve a statue, but simply removed the excess stone to reveal the brilliant figure that God had formed within the stone. So that is how we are. Inside us is that being that God already created. Some call it the Christ, the Buddha mind, Shekinah, the light, the soul. And it's our job to get rid of the excess, useless fear and the thought forms that the world has imparted on us, to get rid of those thought forms that actually hide the light of the soul. So within each of us is this dimension of being that is referred to by many luminaries and awakened beings over the decades, the millennia, as the light within us. And as I say that, I'm looking at this behind me, this mandala, and I'm thinking of a halo and many of the ancient art, people that were said to be awake or awakened or enlightened, they had that light that would be painted or implied around their head, saying that this being, their minds have been illumined. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to create an atmosphere, a place for us to open up our minds, to open up our hearts, and to express the light that each one of us is here to shine. Gary Zukav, another author and spiritual teacher, says, "The soul is that part of you that existed before you were born. It will exist after you die. It is the highest, most noble part of yourself that you can reach for." So today my talk is radical care of the soul. So how do we care for this dimension of our being that is the most noble part of our being? And part of me thinks that it doesn't need any caring for, because it's already whole, complete, and perfect. And so the care really is coming into alignment with our own spiritual magnificence. Dr. Ernest Holmes says, the soul is on the pathway of an endless and ever-expanding experience, and that only by expansion can it evolve. Accepting the lessons and experiences of the past and taking the best from everything, we should press boldly forward, looking ever for the truth, and ever ascending higher and higher into the heavens of reality. There is no limit to the possibility inherent in all human beings. Let the timid soul put its complete trust in good and press on bravely. So we're getting an idea that we're here to press on, even though there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, even though things may not be going the way our ego would like them to go. There's a lot that we can do as awakening beings, a lot that we can do to bring light into this world and to help evolve consciousness. So I have another acronym. I love to share acronyms. So I've taken the word soul, S-O-U-L, and I've created a formula that all of us can use, and it's super simple and it's super easy. And this formula is for us to help us remember how to stay in that place of taking radical care of the soul, or aligning, merging our ego self, the ideas of who we think we are, with that broader self, the soul, merging that ego and essence. And so this is my acronym. So soul is sacredly occupy universal love. Sacredly occupy universal love. When we're sacredly occupying universal love, we are then it's as though we've put on the persona or the mask of our authentic face. Or maybe we've taken off the mask of our ego or our personality, and we've aligned, or we've revealed the original face, our divinity, when we're sacredly and simply occupying universal, unconditional love. Another way of saying it is to sacredly observe universal love. So we can occupy love, we can be that love, we can see through the eyes of our most deepest loving presence, loving awareness, and then we can observe that unconditional love, or that universal love, in everything and everyone. It's not to say that we necessarily agree with what's going on in the world, or we agree with individuals that may not be expressing their most loving selves. Doesn't mean we agree or we condone that. We just simply see beyond it. We see that those that are struggling, those that are not inhabiting their most loving presence, their loving awareness, have simply got barriers in the way, or there's things in the way, conditionings in the way, the wants and the needs and the desires and the attachments of the ego have become almost like fogging the lens, so we're unable to see from that perspective of loving awareness. So we simply see everyone, even those that are struggling to be their most loving selves, that could be labeled as mean or intolerant or angry or causing separation. We can see those individuals as doing the very best that they can, and seeing them in this field of unconditional love. So why is that important? Because we are causative beings. What we think about, our belief systems, how we carry ourselves, all of that creates change, creates a point of causation in the universe. And because we live in this universe of the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, We're always affecting our environment. So let's affect it in positive, loving, kind ways by taking care of ourselves, by simply occupying universal love. Simply occupying universal love. Sacredly observing unconditional love. Universal love. So that's how we do it. That's how we care for our soul. A great book that you might want to look into is The Care of the Soul by Thomas More. He says, when we relate to our bodies as having a soul, we attend to their beauty, their poetry, and their expressiveness. Our very habit of treating the body as a machine, whose muscles are like pulleys and its organs engines, forces its poetry underground, so that we experience the body as an instrument and see its poetics as in illness. So when we transcend this, looking through the eyes of seeing the body, seeing the soul as something mechanical, we miss the sacred geometry, the sacred poetry, the sacred awareness about who and what we really are as spiritual beings. So we are blessed spiritual beings here having an amazing earthly experience. Each one of us is a precious soul. Each one of us a unique, individualized expression of the one life. It's as though each of us is a center for the divine flow of God's love to move through us out into the world. So my question for you is, how do you express your divinity? How do you bring that inner loving awareness out into the world? Because every time you do, every time we do, we are an answer to somebody's prayer. When we show up as sacredly occupying universal love, when we show up as the soul, we heal the world. It's up to us. So how do you show up in the world, in your divinity? How do you share your divinity? How do you reveal your soul? How do you live wholeheartedly, knowing that it's up to you to tend to this, to cultivate this loving awareness, so then it radiates out into the rest of the world. So, how do you take care of your soul? Think of it. Think of ways that you can love, express love, be love. I have a little practice that my friend Nithya Shanti shared with me, and I wanted to share that with you. It's called the rose, the bud, the rose, the thorn, the bud, and the leaf. And I'm going to have to remember it because I don't have my notes for it. So I invite you this week, when you're with friends or family, to spend some time in the circle and ask the rose, what do you love? What's happening in your life that you absolutely love? And then the thorn, what isn't working so well? And then the bud, what's coming into expression? What are you looking forward to? And then the leaf, what are you sharing with the world that is lighting up the world? So this is the rose, the thorn, the bud, and the leaf. What you're loving about your experience, what's a challenge about your experience, what is a bud, what you're looking forward to, and then what is it that you really want to bring into this world? So that's my spiritual practice for you this week. Thank you, Nithya Shanti, for sharing that. And so I have an affirmation. And so take a moment, close the eyes, and just feel into these words. I'm going to say them and then repeat them. Let's repeat them together. I am a precious child of the universe. I am a precious child of the universe, creating the life I was born to live. Creating the life that I was born to live. Let's say it all together. I am a precious child of the universe, creating a life that I was born to live. So, many blessings on you. If you've enjoyed this, I encourage you to come back next Sunday and on Thursday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Sunday here at 10:15 a.m. Mountain Time. If you've enjoyed this and would like to participate in the abundant flow of the universe, you can push us a donation through Venmo to Satya Center, SATYA CENTER, so you can share your love and continue to stay in that river of blessings, because we know that what we give we receive tenfold. So share your love with Satya Center on Venmo, and you can also text GIVE to 385-217-6312. You can text GIVE to 385-217-6312. So many blessings. I hold each and every one of us in the loving presence of universal love, knowing that we are absolutely blessed as spiritual beings having this amazing human experience, opening up to our divinity more and more every day. May this be the truth for all of us. Peace and blessings. Namaste.